Yo, what's up, folks? My name's Mark Spencer. I'm alongside Carmine Amarelli, my good friend from childhood,
Good friend.
best friend from childhood, and we're still friends 20 years later. We're here to talk some UFC 100, and we're going to give you our predictions and our thoughts on all the UFCs we've seen in our lives. So, Carm, this is UFC 100. This is like an anniversary show, Carm. I've watched a lot of UFCs in my time, but I think this is going to be a big show. This is a Hall of Fame show, no doubt about it.
Well, you have obviously Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir, huge grudge match, a huge rematch between the two. They've been talking a lot of trash about each other. I think Brock Lesnar's going to come out on top. He's just too powerful, too quick for Muir. He's an NCAA champion wrestler. He has good takedown defense, of course, being a wrestler. He got caught in a knee bar last time with him, and I don't think he's going to make that same mistake twice. He was overzealous. He didn't really respect Frank Mir's ground game, and he will this time. So I do think Lesnar's going to come on top of that one. Then you have of course, George Rush St. Pierre versus Thiago Alves.
That's supposed to be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of showmanship going into that fight as well. You've got the great Canadian, of course. I think the Pitbull is the Pitbull, but he is. Don't make any mistake about this, Mark.
Yeah.
Thiago Alves is a lot stronger, a lot quicker, of course, a lot stronger and a lot tougher than anybody George St. Pierre's face.
Yeah.
But I think
This is like
well, maybe. If you get caught with one of his punches, you're going down. There's no question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Power.
But first of all, you got to catch him.
Yeah.
He's George St. Pierre's the best athlete in the game. Make no mistake about it.
He's like Anderson
the
Silva.
fittest guy.
Quick.
I think he's even better than Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva's insane, dude.
Yeah, but I think he's better. I really do think GSP is going to come on top. He's just too well-rounded. He's got great wrestling, and he wasn't even an NCAA champion.
That's true.
And he probably has the best wrestling in the game, believe it or not. He's come a long, long way. He's got a good stand-up, solid ground game.
And like Frank Mir and those guys?
Yeah.
You think so?
I do. I think GSP is taking this one, and I think it's going to go the distance, and I think you'll see Alves tire out in rounds 4 and 5 big time. He's cutting over 30 pounds of weight.
That's true.
The guy
that takes a lot out of you.
The guy walks around at 200, so for him to cut 30 pounds
Yeah.
and have to go 5 rounds the next day, he is not going to be as strong in the 4th and 5th round as he is in the first. Whereas GSP is known for being probably even stronger in the 4th and 5th round, just because he's so well conditioned. He prepares himself, like he says, like he's going to war, and he fights a fresh guy every round in training for 5 rounds. The guy is unstoppable. He is unreal. So, being the best athlete and having that endurance, I don't think he's going to get caught with a big shot. I think he learned his lesson versus Matt Serra. Come to think of it, had he not made that critical mistake and the small mistake against Matt Hughes in their first fight, the guy would still be undefeated, be 20-0 right now. So
yeah, you're right.
He is fighting for his legacy, as he says, and I think he's going to go down as the all-time best welterweight in history. But time will tell. We'll see Saturday.
Anything could happen. Look at Matt Serra a few years ago, Kurt.
And I think
that was crazy.
Alves has all the potential to beat GSP, but do I think it's going to happen? No way.
I think it's gonna happen. But, hey, that's what you say. But who knows? I remember hey, how about that? Carm. I remember back in the day. One of those classic matches. How about that one fight when Chuck Liddell took on Tito Ortiz? What do you think about Tito Ortiz now, since he got knocked out by Chuck Liddell a couple years ago, back in 2006?
I think he's run down. He's over the hill, and I think Liddell could still beat him today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's got knocked out 3 times?
Chuck Liddell, make no mistake about it. Against Rashad Evans, he got caught. Against Quinton Rampage Jackson, he got caught by 2 punches he should have never thrown.
True.
Had he been smart about it, trained a little bit better, he's knocking those 2 guys out, and he's still the champ going into that fight with Mauricio Shogun Rua. He basically he lost those fights for him. There's no way he should have lost.
Oh.
I mean, the guy punches like a motherfucking freight train in
Yes.
both hands.
Yep.
Look at what he's done to guys like Randy Couture twice,
Yep.
Vitor Belfort twice.
Twice.
I mean,
Those
Tito
are Hall of
Ortiz
Famers.
twice.
Yep.
You're talking about three of the best ever, and I mean,
At light heavyweight.
exactly.
That's amazing.
He honestly is probably, in my books, he's my favorite fighter ever. I mean, I know it kind of sounds like I'm
Yeah.
pushing for him and this and that, but I mean,
Yeah, he's one of the best, man.
you
Hall
have
of
that
Famer.
takedown
Yeah.
defense. The
Yeah.
guy knocks out people going backwards.
I know. Like Tyson, in a
So-
way. Yeah, man. He's crazy.
Exactly. So, I mean, that fight in 2006 was the first pay-per-view ever that went over 1 million buys. I mean,
Yeah.
it made Liddell a very rich man. He made a
Yeah.
couple million off that fight.
Yeah.
And no fighters ever come close to anything like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is. And I think Liddell, I'm hoping he's coming back. Everybody's pushing for retirement because they don't want to see any damage suffered. Providing he goes to see a doctor and he hasn't suffered any damage,
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get in better shape and take fights more seriously. Cut
Yeah.
the partying out like completely.
No more party. No more beers, man.
If he never, yeah, exactly. That beer gut's never
Yeah,
gonna go away.
I know. But hey,
Had he
he's still
kept, had he kept the partying to a very minimum, he would still be the light heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
But I
for
mean,
sure. See, he got a little distracted.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean,
happens.
he's 39 years old now.
39,
He
yeah.
can't be partying anymore.
No more party. Time
No.
to settle it down, man.
That's right.
This old lady, yeah.
Hopefully, he hasn't taken too much damage. He can still take a shot like he used to be able to.
Yep.
I mean, that's still in question too. I mean, he went down, looks like rather easily against Shogun. So, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, for sure, Carmine. No doubt. You know, one of my all-time favorite fighters of all time has to be Royce Gracie, one of the greatest fighters ever in the UFC. At first, one night, Carmen, he beat Dan Severn, Tank Abbott, Ken Shamrock, and what's his name, Oleg Totarov.
Yeah, I mean,
One night back in the old UFC, that was just nuts.
yeah, I mean, back then they had tournament-style competitions. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you argue with a night like that
Yeah.
against
But
all?
those guys were huge. If you think
And
about
they're
it,
Hall of Famers today.
Hall of Famers,
So
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it's come a long way. UFC's come a long way there, Carm. And there's one more fight we have to talk about. Bisping Henderson.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. I mean, I like Dan Henderson a lot. He's a cool cucumber. Bisping's been talking a lot of trash, trying to get to him. I mean, he's a pretty easygoing guy. Nothing ever really bugs him. I think Dan Henderson's gonna lay a beat down on Bisping, and Bisping will learn to shut his mouth a little more often and respect his opponents a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, right in season 9 that just passed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see he was trying to get him going when he was saying to him, "Oh, we can't just change that because Dan Henderson wants to." I mean, he's really getting in his face, trying to get him going.
Yeah.
And then classic Dan Henderson, he gives him that look and doesn't really fade him or bug him one way or the other. So, I mean, we'll see. I think Dan Henderson
Over. Well, folks, that's me and Carmen's review on the next UFC. So we'll see you next time. My name's Mark Spencer. So long.